No romance, no poetry, only the brutal arithmetic of bills I couldn't pay and debts I couldn't outrun as I'll. For love? That was a luxury only the rich could afford. My apologies, Mr. Reese. I finished cleaning the last trace of wine, stood up, and maintained my humble, subservient posture. I will inform the manager to send up the finest bottle we have. Holden looked at the small bead of blood welling up on my finger. His pupil constricted momentarily, but the mask of icy indifference returned instantly. Get out. I didn't get out, because Mr. Davies told me the client in V888 had specifically requested my service for the duration of the night. If I left, I'd lose the mandatory $2,000 tip and potentially have my base pay docked. I desperately needed the money. My mother's dialysis next month hadn't been covered yet, and the landlord was already texting about next quarter's rent. So I went to the restroom to quickly bandage the cut, and then I returned to that suffocating velvet-lined suite. When I pushed the door open again, the atmosphere had shifted. 3. Rounds of drinks in, the impeccably tailored elite had started to drop their pretenses, revealing the ugly core of humanity beneath. They were playing truth or dare. It was a trite, yet endlessly effective game, especially fueled by alcohol, the perfect tool to rip the veneer off human decency. The marble table was littered with empty bottles. Louis XIII, Remy Martin, Ace of Spades. The combined cost of those bottles was enough for me to buy a closet-sized studio apartment in the outer boroughs. Jen was clearly drunk. Her cheeks were flushed, and she was practically draped over Holden, her eyes hazy, almost feverish with triumph. She was the star of the night, the biggest winner. The prospect of marrying Holden and becoming the envied Mrs. Reese had made her reckless, almost giddy with hubris. All right, next round. The class president, an awkward man named Sam, slurred his words. Who gets it this time? The empty magnum bottle spun quickly across the slick marble table, making a grating, unpleasant sound. Everyone held their breath, their eyes glued to the bottle's neck. Slowly, it stopped. The bottle pointed directly at Jen. Ooh. Jackpot for the campus queen! Truth or dare? Jen let out a throaty laugh, waving a dismissive hand. Truth, this princess has nothing to hide. Sam rubbed his hands together with a malicious grin, his eyes bouncing between me and Jen. He was clearly looking to stir up trouble. Fine, let's go with a juicy one. Jen, what is the most despicable, most heartless thing you've ever done in your entire life? The question dropped into the room like a stone. They were all adults. Who didn't have a few dirty secrets? But this was a game, and the point was the shock value. Holden, who had been resting his eyes, merely lifted an eyelid at the question, offering no objection. In his mind, Jen was merely spoiled and occasionally petty, but certainly not capable of true malice.